Yes guys, welcome back to the George Benson football channel. Welcome to another video. 6 things we learned from Chelsea 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Yet again, we beat Jose Mourinho. Frank Lampard got it right, and he got it absolutely perfect. But before we go into perfection, heaven, as I called it on social media yesterday, that honestly was an incredible Chelsea performance. It's exactly what I wanted, exactly what we all wanted and all needed. But before we get into any of the analysis, before we get into the 6 things that I've learned, I'd like to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button. 50% plus of people that watch this video will not be subscribed. And if you haven't yet done so, and you don't want to miss another video like this one, hit the subscribe button. It's as easy as that. It's like beating Spurs. We're good at this now. We're actually very, very good at beating Tottenham Hotspur home and away. Jose Mourinho, Frank Lampard must be in his dreams, in his nightmares, in every single thought that Mourinho has, probably between now and the next time Spurs play, he's going to see Frank's celebration. It was one of the most beautiful moments of the season, and it was a fantastic Chelsea performance. It was everything we asked for. Yes, the final 2 minutes, palpitations, you name it, I was going through it. I was going through beers like there's no tomorrow, through nerves, which is never a good sign. But we got the 3 points, and we've got 5 green boxes and a red one. I mean, maybe you guys already know what it's going to be. I think you do, but stay tuned to the end of the video to find out. But box number 1, lots of contenders yesterday for man of the match. There were some brilliant performances all over the field, but Mason Mount, this guy's come in for a lot of criticism. There are some people that, even at the start of the season, when Mason was in his best form, when he first broke into the team, people were saying, we don't really know what this guy does. We know that he works hard, we know that he runs his socks off, but is he good enough on the ball? Is he creating enough opportunities? Is he creating enough chances? Yesterday, I think was Mason Mount's best game of the season. Yes, there's been games where he's scored goals and he's had a huge impact. The way he played yesterday was absolutely sublime. As per usual, the work rate is never questionable. I think there's been times in recent weeks where Mason's looked a little bit tired. He's looked as though he's a bit leggy, as if he's been playing too many games at an intensity that obviously at this stage in his career he's not been used to. The man's broken into the England squad this season. He's now a regular starter in Chelsea's first team, and in a game where we needed our players to turn up against the biggest rival that we have, Mason Mount I thought was absolutely incredible, and I want to give him credit. The run that he made for the second goal, the pass into Barkley, the way that he got down and he was running towards the byline, it's exactly what we need. Mason Mount's pass into Ross Barkley, who Ross Barkley doesn't have a green box, but he could have had one. This could have been like 12 things that we learned, because there were so many positives yesterday. Ross was brilliant. He gets the second pass, and then Alonso strike, sublime. So that was all made from Mason Mount. We're going to move into box number 2. Statistically, this man would have been the man of the match, and yet again, just proving why he's been our player of the season. The Croatian, Mateo Kovacic, absolutely flawless yesterday. The most take-ons, the most passes. Every single time he tried anything, he got it right. Mateo Kovacic, I mean, I saw people say that if he was playing for Liverpool, he'd be considered the best midfielder in the world right now, which is a very bold statement to make, and anyone who's not a fan of Chelsea Football Club will certainly argue that one to the death, because, well, Mateo Kovacic, he only costs 40 million. What a player this man is. Game by game, we are seeing his game develop. We're seeing that Frank Lampard is having a genuine influence on this man's game. He's got the ability to go forward, he's got the confidence to go forward, he's taking players on, and I made the comparison so many times throughout this entire season. Mateo Kovacic dribbles the ball in a similar style and with similar poise as Eden Hazard. So we may have lost Hazard's creative ability to get assists and score goals, but in the middle of the field, to have a player of Kovacic's ability who's actually able to do similar things with a low centre of gravity, he's very agile, he can put in a tackle, he doesn't get tackled very often at all. Kovacic again, absolutely incredible yesterday, and statistically he was the man of the match. I gave it to Mason Mount. It's a flipping cat coming in the garden. Why don't you come and join the party, mate? But anyway, box number 3. This could have been a plethora of players. It could have been anyone. They were brilliant yesterday. Even Willie. Big save to deny Davinson Sanchez. I'm just going to throw in like little caveats to people that don't have boxes at different stages during this video. But box number 3, this man has bided his time. He has been the perfect professional, not playing football. He's won World Cups. The man has done it all. Olivier Giroud. The way that he took that goal yesterday, there isn't a player with the ball at his feet or in the air who can hit the ball with the left foot as hard and as direct as Olivier Giroud. We all know that he's not the quickest. He's not going to be the one to sprint round the back of defenders, to latch onto a ball that's played over the top. He can bring it down, he can offload it. It's why he's had such a big part to play in France's World Cup success. He was one of the key players within that regime for France to win the World Cup, always to be called upon, always to be relied on. Frank Lampard yesterday gave him the run. in arguably our biggest game of the season, not only did he score what I thought was an absolutely fantastic goal, beautiful finish into the bottom corner at the second time of asking, or the third time of asking in Chelsea's case, but the way that he offloaded the play, the way that he is that target man that draws defenders out of the game because they know the ball's played in the air or anywhere in Giroud's body, he's going to be able to bring the ball down to then offload it to a Mason Mount who's always going to be running around. Ever so slight change of scenery because for some stupid reason, the camera lens just decided to fog up throughout the rest of this video, but we'll carry on what we were saying. Great performance from Olivier Giroud. Given the opportunity, the prime professional comes on, does the job when he's asked, even though it looked as though his Chelsea career was going to be over. He offered us a lot. Tammy Abraham came off the bench. Giroud goes off to a standing ovation. He's been so good throughout the whole process in terms of not saying anything bad about Chelsea, not trying to force away a move by, kicking up a fuss. So could have easily been the man of the match. I think he actually did get the Premier League Man of the Match award. I was just so impressed with both Mount and Mateo Kovacic that I thought between the two of them, their impact on the game was just as good as the goal of which Olivier Giroud scored. But let's move now into box number 4, and we're going to give it to the centre-back who has come in after I'll eat a slice of humble pie. I do this quite often. It's the nature of football. We all react to things. We all give opinions about what we think's the best, but realistically, we never know what's going to come out on the pitch. And Andreas Christensen, in recent weeks, and particularly yesterday, in that game against Spurs, Christensen for me right now is the first defender that I put on my team sheet. I thought Reece James had another very good game again. I could talk about Reece James and his performance and the way that he muscled the Spurs player off the ball and it looked as though they were going to go in and score. Reece James was brilliant, but I thought the way that Christensen came in, he had his little Batman mask on from his broken nose in the game against Man United. I thought that he marshalled the defence superbly. I thought partnered with Rudiger, who by the way, Tony Rudiger beats Tottenham and then his wife gives birth, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So congratulations to Rudiger. But I was impressed with Christensen's performance yesterday, and I wanted to say it because I have said in the past that if we're going to spend a load of money on a centre-back, then Christensen would be a player that I would have sold because we'd probably be able to make some money from him. But now, seeing his performances, yes, Tomori's been dropped out of the side, and I don't really know what it is he's done wrong. At stages during this season, each centre-back that we've had has put in a huge shift, and at the moment, it's Christensen's turn to be the number one, and at the moment, there's absolutely no way that I can take him out of his team. I thought that Christensen was absolutely fantastic, and we move into box number 5. His player with the number 5 on the back of his shirt, J5, Jorginho. I thought yet again yesterday, we saw that leadership, we saw that he knows, he understands exactly what it means to be a Chelsea player, to be a senior figure within the side, who needs to grab all the other players around him and be like, this is what we're doing. Go here, move here, pass the ball here. I actually tweeted it after the game against Man United that how if the players around Jorginho actually moved into the positions in which he's trying to point them to go to because his vision of the game is incredible, Chelsea would create even more opportunities than we already have this season. We remember that goal that we scored away at Watford. Tammy Abraham, he loops it over Ben Foster. Great finish thanks to a genius ball from Jorginho around the back. What we saw yesterday for the first goal, Olivier Giroud's goal, was yet another defence-splitting pass from Jorginho. The way that he sees it, and it's perfectly weighted, perfectly timed. Considering Olivier Giroud's not the quickest, it's not like he can bomb it too far ahead of him and then Giroud's going to catch up with the ball. Perfectly weighted pass, and I think the way that Jorginho controlled the game for Chelsea in the middle, you see it here on the graphic, I've got like the cog, as if he's like the machine, the engine, that makes this Chelsea team tick. Similarly to Mason Mount, Jorginho comes in for criticism. I think that in recent weeks, particularly since the game away at Arsenal, where he obviously came on and did so well, there have been some questionable performances. And in terms of consistency, we need to see that kind of level that we saw yesterday from Jorginho in a game-by-game basis. Kante's out injured. He's going to be out for a couple more weeks. For me, that Kovacic and Jorginho partnership has been the strongest partnership of the season. And yet again yesterday, they both showed with the different dynamisms and the different elements of their game, they complement each other so well. And I thought Jorginho had a great game. Again, I could have given the box to Alonso. Could have given the box to Reece James. Could have given it to Rudiger. Could have given it to anyone on the field yesterday for Chelsea. Ross Barkley as well. Got to make sure that I give everybody a mention. I don't want it to seem like I've always got the same favourites over and over again. But in terms of influence, I had to give Jorginho a box. And we move into box number 6. And I want to keep this as light-hearted as possible. I went in on the video assistant ref. I knew that you all knew that that was what the red box was going to be, because this one's just confusing, okay? Like, I don't know if it's a thing. I've got a theory, and this theory is pretty much incorrect. This is slander to an extent. I've got a funny feeling that the referees in the Premier League right now are just like, you know what? Everyone's a bit frustrated about VAR. So are we. Why don't we just sabotage the whole thing by just being incompetent in its entirety, and then maybe they'll scrap it and everyone's job goes back to normal, and all of a sudden we don't have all of this ambiguity. We don't have all of this stoppage. We don't have all of this let's bash the referees because they can't do their job properly. How Lo Celso has not been sent off for the stamp on Azpilicueta's ankle, even Spurs fans must be like, I don't know how he's got away with that one. He's got away with murder inside Stamford Bridge, right in front of the Chelsea dugout. The referee sees it. I'm not going to give that one a red. Let's go to VAR, shall we? They're all looking at it, and what have they seen? Someone, let's play devil's advocate here. What has he seen which would suggest that this isn't a red card? And then, lo and behold, it all comes back to reality again, and we all wake up and it's like, retrospectively, we realise we've made an error there, so sorry, but they're not going to do anything about it now, are they? They're not going to go and give him a ban, or they're not going to go and, give him a red card, which means he's going to miss the next 3 games for Spurs, because it was a straight red card offence. But they're not going to do anything, despite realising that they got it wrong in the first place, which for me, why are we still doing this? What more needs to happen for the referee to just go over and look at the screen? Oh my goodness, there's a wasp. I actually got stung by a wasp earlier today. This could be me running away. This is embarrassing. Yes, no, maybe go away. But anyway, I don't want to end this video on an entire negative note, because it was the best home performance of the season. It was the best home result of the season when we needed it most, going into that game at home to Bayern Munich. We needed something to give us that impetus, to give us the belief that against one of the top teams in Europe, against one of the best strikers in the world in Robert Lewandowski, Chelsea needed that result yesterday. We played 3 at the back. I'm going to discuss in another video, either tomorrow or on the day of the match against Bayern, whether I think we should carry on with it. We created opportunities yesterday. We were playing free-flowing football with the 3 at the back. It wasn't negative the way that I foreshadowed if we did play it within my match preview for that game yesterday. Frank got it spot on. I gave Frank a lot of stick for what the tactics were and the decisions that were made at home to United. And even though I didn't have enough boxes today to put Frank in his own box again, 3 wins over Jose Mourinho in his managerial career. That was a special result from Chelsea yesterday. Absolutely buzzing with it. I was watching it in the living room, and I had 2 friends with me who don't even like football who were watching it, and they could kind of see the passion, the excitement, the noise around Stamford Bridge was electric, and hopefully this is the result we needed to not just create a 4-point gap between us, Sheffield United and Spurs, but it's also now the belief that we know we can do things with different tactics. We can play different formations. We can have different personnel. We can have all of these injuries, yet still rely on the senior players within the squad like Olivier, Giroud, Marcus Alonso. They've been there and done it before, and they did it again. Chelsea 2, Spurs 1. This has been 6 things that we learned here on the George Benson Football Channel. As always, let me know in the comments down below, what were the 6 things that you learned from the game yesterday? I'm buzzing. The game against Bayern is going to be different gravy. Spurs didn't have a striker. Bayern have got arguably Europe's best striker, apart from Erling Haaland, who, yes, we all should have tried to sign him, but we're not even going to entertain that conversation because it's Bayern Munich up next. Robert Lewandowski, different gravy. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. As I said at the start of the video, so many people who watch these videos aren't subscribed to the George Benson Football Channel, so if you're not, make sure you do, hit the bell notifications, and then you won't miss anything again. But anyway, hope you've all had a good weekend. Catch you all later. Bye-bye.